Jumping In on Manx Radio.
With Howard and Chris Kane.
Hello.
Good evening.
And welcome. Yes, indeedy. Here we are once again, reunited, you'll be happy to hear. Hurrah, indeed, for a Friday night, as it is now, of course. I still can't quite get used to the Friday nights. By the time I got used to it, it'll be Saturday night again. Anyway, it is Friday night. It is just gone 9 o'clock. It is Jumping In the best in modern and contemporary jazz with myself, H.
And me, Chris. Yes, welcome to this week's Jumping In. Congratulations, you made it to the end of term and through the first week without falling out. Now just the arduous wait for the exam results, or perhaps the start of some real adventures with gap years. But most importantly, a few weeks peace and quiet. Yes, it's that I don't believe it's the summer holidays already moment. So other than the required several copies of Jazzwise, your trunks and a toothbrush, what's made it into your essential holiday listening list, H?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been really enjoying, so what, you might ask. So what indeed, Theo Croker paying homage to Miles. Come rain or shine, well, that's makes somewhat a bit of a solid birthday as well.
And for me, we message, we chase, we roll, and to kick off, we reflect. Here's Eleanor and the Wanderlust Orchestra with Mangata. composer, orchestrator, glockenspieler and vocalist Ellen Noah with her Wanderlust Orchestra. Ellen Noah and her 14-strong orchestra are anything but the typical jazz big band. You only need to look at the instrumentation. 2 saxes, a trombone, flute, oboe, English horn, 2 violins, a viola, cello, double bass, guitar, piano and drums. Not forgetting Ellen Noah leading the ensemble and contributing haunting wordless vocals a la Norma Winston with the odd tinkle on the glockenspiel. A fascinating project, this one I came by chance. It's never less than engaging and it just takes you on a journey that you want to repeat. As one reviewer said, 8 untranslatable words told by an adventurous orchestral jazz, moving pieces, sometimes graceful and poetic, sometimes explosive, but always sparkling. Says it all, I think. Mangata, incidentally, is that silvery, shimmering path the moon makes on the surface of the sea. She's got several recordings out. This is the only one with a big band and her first writing for orchestra, but Wanderlust Orchestra, one to look out for.
Certainly is. Great sound and, yes, more than a hint of Norma Winston there, I think. Enjoyed that one. Nice mix. Another project as well, this one, a 2 CD project at that from US-born trumpeter Theo Croker, now resident in the UK, if memory serves correct. This is one that came out, I think, the early part of this year, and it's in the Jazz at the Berlin Philharmonic series, volume 12, I think it is, or 12, on active score, Sketches of Miles. Might give you a bit of a clue there as to what it's all about. It is indeed an homage to the great man himself, Miles Davis, and none the worse for that. So you'll recognise most of the tracks, all given new interpretations. Miles's music from the likes of Porgy and Bess, Sketches of Spain, and of course from this one, you might recognise from All Blues, So What? Yeah, I think you recognise that one all right. Starts off sounding remarkably like it. Just like the record. Theo Croker with his quartet and the members of the Berlin Philharmonie on, a double, yes, count them, a double CD collection. Live, as you might well have gathered there, the Berlin Philharmonic. And terrific stuff. Enjoyed that a lot. Like I said, some of it in places, it starts off, close your eyes, as it were, close your ears, and you'd think you're listening to the original album, as you might do at the beginning of that. There's also an extended bass solo before that, which we didn't really have time for. But wonderful stuff. Jazz at Berlin Philharmonic, sketches of Miles' Theo Croker Quartet on Act. I think I said All Blues before. That, of course, was from Kind of Blue. All Blues also features, by the way, on this collection. Jazz at the Philharmonic. Well, yeah, Miles himself played there back in the day. He performed at the Philharmonic with the first Jazz Fest Berlin in 1964 and then returned there as a headliner no fewer, I should say, than 8 times. So plenty of connections going on there. If you like Miles, if you like any of the classic Miles albums, given a bit of a new take, you can't go wrong with Theo Croker, fine on trumpet and flugel. Check it out. I think it came out earlier this year. Double CD though, so, it's 2 for the price of 1, as it were.
Very good indeed. And in fact, you're right, you can't go very far wrong when you start with such good material. And of course, there were so many recordings of Miles in different settings and slightly different arrangements that another one you could easily be mistaken, but heartfelt appreciation by the audience as well there. Now, Positone Records, another company who generously share their releases with us and never disappoint if you're looking for some good straight-ahead driving swing. And with a 3-horn front line backed by a Hammond master and a drummer, it doesn't disappoint. Here's Caught in the Web.
Hi, my name's Tommy Smith, and welcome to Jumpin In, featuring C in H with that sweet and swing.
Hey, how about that? 2 organs for the price of 1 there. Fanar. Yeah, not often you get that, it has to be said, on the Hammond. Larry Goldstein with Bill Stewart and Pete Bernstein as well. Larry Goldings, I should say. Pete Bernstein, Bill Stewart. Been playing together in that format for 30 years. Would you... I don't know, I thought it was about 15 at most. 30 years they've been together. Amazing. That's their latest out on the Smoke Sessions label, Perpetual Pendulum. Wonderful interactive approach, great tasteful sound, lovely brushes from Bill there, captures the trio, a real sort of mix of hardcore jazz, funk and, I don't know, swing, I guess, as well, you'd have to say.
It's amazing his back should last so long hawking a B3 around, but the Hammond, pretty much like the Rhodes, has never gone away, has it? Before that, we had, taken from tenorist Doug Webb's recent release, The Message, we had Caught in the Web, with the shared horn duties of the 2 sax supremos, Greg Osby and Bob Reynolds, with Brian Chorrett on the B3 and Charles Ruggiero at the drums. All but drummer Ruggiero, complete contributions to that, and while not breaking any conventions, again, very reassuringly swinging. Now for a bit of a change of direction. Sinead Aitken is a seasoned classical violinist, composer and vocalist with numerous Scottish awards for jazz as well as for classical and folk. And it was after a serious riding accident during lockdown when she fell off a horse that Sinead took to walking around Glasgow whilst recuperating and was inspired by the beauty of the cherry blossom. Chasing Sakura links Japan, where she lived for 18 months, with her Celtic roots and, of course, jazz. Here's the title track, Chasing Sakura.
this is Tony the Tiger. Nice to finally meet the guys at Manx Radio. They're great!
Granted, H. You're absolutely granted. Prior to that, of course, we started that little twosome with Sinead Aitken and Chasing Sakura, the title of a new suite from her all-female sextet, led by Sinead, augmented by a double bass, and the wonderful Helena Kay on sax. Originally commissioned for last year's Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival, her first recording of all original compositions, and when she's not busy playing, she also hosts BBC Radio Scotland's Jazz Nights, which is worth listening when you're waiting the next edition of Jumping In. And after that...
Indeed, yeah, there might have been a clue there. Very good. Grant Green with a minor league great Duke Jordan track from his cracking album Solid. One of his best, if not his best. Why are we playing it? Well, A, it's a great track. B, the alto sax player James Spaulding, 85 years old, I think, tomorrow, and still going strong. As far as I'm aware, I think he's still playing. He's certainly still with us in any case. And yes, born July the 30th. I thought, well, I couldn't miss that one. I've always loved that album, and I do hope he's still playing. Certainly still playing back in the mid-2000s in any case. Before we leave you, delighted to notice that this man has got a Mercury Prize nomination for 2022. North by Fergus McCready from his Cairn album. And yes, Fergus is indeed Mercury Prize nominee for 2022. If you're a bookie, the odds are going to be low. I don't think any of the Jazzers have ever won. They're always there. They've never won. I think Polar Bear were there, and I don't know, I think Soweto Kinch has been there, has he? You'd be a brave man if you put 50 quid on, but it's a shame in a way because the music is very good. Not this album, his most recent album, I think. Forest Floor, is it? Something on those lines?
Forest Floor, quite
Indeed.
Correct. But
anyway,
they're
well
all
done, Fergus.
All well worth listening, as indeed is a lot of the great jazz coming out of Scotland, as we heard previously with Chasing Sakura. Well, that's about it for this week's show, but we just got time to leave you with a track from the Roller Trio's 2018 release, New Devices. If you or your family members are mulling higher education options to study jazz, you won't find a much better starting point than Leeds College of Music. 3 of the quartet were alumni, as are many friends of the show, including Alan Barnes, Dave Newton, Gary Boyle, Nicky Isles, and many, many more. Here's Milligrammer. See you next week.
Look after yourselves. Bye.
Bye.